are you?
Hi.
Good.
Hi. So to start, I wanted to ask you guys, when you're part of a series like this, where it is so kind of hinged on Jack Whitehall's character and figuring out what his deal is, what for you guys is the most fun of getting to play kind of the sounding board of all of that and like figuring out like, all right, like there's something up with it. What is it?
I think it's a really interesting one, this, because actually as an actor you can't kind of signpost what you know or don't know. That's part of the thrill for the audience, to be kind of one step ahead of you and shouting at the screen going, no, don't listen to him, don't do it, don't let him in,
It's creepy.
yeah, get rid of him, what are you thinking? You know, that's what you want, really.
Yeah. So that's the fun bit, isn't it? Sort of playing the ones that don't know and letting the audience be the detective. So our job obviously is, we know the story, we know what's going on, we know what the arcs are, but obviously as we go episode to episode is making sure that we're not sort of giving anything away in the way we respond, especially in those dinner scenes where we're all around a table. A lot of it is all held in those looks across the table, and when he says things, and when Jamie's character says things, we've all got to play very much like we've got no idea what's coming down the line. So that's the fun bit, I think.
When speaking of those dinner scenes, I do think this is while like, yeah, we have like David Duchovny and like Jawa, and you have these names, it is more of like an ensemble piece as well, because all of the supporting people are why we're all kind of side-eyeing what this character is doing. How much fun is it to work as like a collective with that as well, and like all kind of get to bait the audience in that way as like a unit instead of just like one character who's, hey, what's up with that guy?
Yeah. James has done a fantastic job, our writer, of investing in all of the characters in this show, because often you'll just be following the narrative of maybe one, maybe two lead characters in the show. But actually on this one, we do go off on tangents with just about all of the major characters in the show. So we're left alone with you and Jack and some of those things. Or
We all have our different relationships with Jack's character, which is really interesting. And that obviously builds the tension. But I think what was great about the job was being able to, go on location to Greece, where you're sort of spending more time together just by virtue of being on location. So you really build up this rapport. So then suddenly those scenes around the dinner table start to feel a lot more natural, or when they're sitting having drinks at the pool at night, it feels very familiar because you've got to spend, that time together. So that was really nice.
Yeah. And also it is fun working with actors you like and respect too. Like Christine and I have known each other of old. I've been a great fan of David's work, and I think he's wonderful in this. I think he's just really charming, in a character which in other people's hands wouldn't be charming. It's quite fun to go on that journey with him.
Yeah, no, what I wanted to talk about Greece, because as actors, I have to assume when you get a script and it's like, okay, you're gonna be in Greece, there's a part of you that is like, oh, cool, like I'm getting paid to go essentially to Greece for an extended period of time and just work. But is when you're working on location like that daunting, because you have to, be in this foreign country and you have to be somewhere for so long? Or is it exciting for you guys as actors to basically be like, cool, I'm going to Greece, see you later?
I feel enormously privileged. I really do, that in our job we get to travel, and sometimes there are, both of us have families, and sometimes that's difficult to be away from family for long periods of time. It's something you can do a lot more easily when you're younger. But actually, as actors, if you're lucky enough to be working on good projects and you're getting to go overseas and work with different crews, see different locations, that's an enormous bonus for our job, and never something to be complained about. I mean, we are very, very privileged.
Yeah, and I think actors are sort of gypsies by just in their nature. I think there's something very nomadic about us. We are people that don't want to stay in the same place for too long. So I think in terms of going somewhere, I think we're always prepared to travel. And sometimes you get to go to amazing locations like Paris, and sometimes not so amazing, but it's always interesting when you come out of your sort of home environment and step into another world. And it actually makes that world more real, right? When you're in situ.
Yeah.
Rather than on a soundstage or whatever.
Well, and it was beautiful to see. And so I cannot wait for everyone to get to see Malice. And so thank you guys so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great one.